I just ran to my 4th apartment showing today. Okay, blinds will definitely go. Ooh, good. So there is thermostat. Hi everyone, my name is Linda. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Kaanthropology, if you didn't know. I just recently moved into a new apartment here in Los Angeles, and I've been talking a lot about it on my social media. Those are literally the last 2 remaining boxes. Any more moving shit? And I'm also getting a lot of inquiries from you guys regarding the process of how I found my new place. So I wanted to jump on here to quickly talk about it. Some of you are from Los Angeles and a lot of you actually aren't. You're from other parts who are considering on moving here to Los Angeles. So I wanted to talk about what I did in terms of moving. And I've actually moved here originally from Dallas, Texas. So I can talk a little bit about the process of coming to LA to look for a place before I moved here. Also, now that I am living here, what that is like to look for a new place. First of all, this is not sponsored in any way by any of the websites or platforms I'm about to talk about. This is just what I happen to use. I'm going to talk about my most recent move, which is from a studio along Miracle Mile. And I lived there for 7 years, loved it, loved my neighbors, still love my neighbors there. I just outgrew it. It was 7 years, it was a studio, it was small. I didn't even have a place to put a living room couch. All I had were these 2 chairs. I love to host and entertain, but I didn't have the space to have more than maybe 2 people over. And that's kind of pushing it because that means somebody doesn't get a chair since I only have 2 chairs. So one of them had to sit on a poof. Anyway, I just knew, especially with everything that's happening around the world, this was time for me to go and expand my footing and be in a space that was more invigorating, inviting, and just made me feel more comfortable being inside. That's how I kind of found my place. I am actually sitting in my place right now. As you can see, there's beautiful natural light. And that's one of the things that I love about my current place right now is just the natural light. When I first walked in, I was a little bit concerned because my living room actually doesn't have that much natural light. It's in a corner without a window, so it can get kind of dim over there, but it's got these 2 big windows up in the front that I really love that goes into the office. And I'm like, well, I'll probably be working more in the office area. And then when I'm lounging in the evening, who cares if it's a little dim? But what really sold me on the place that I'm in right now is my backyard. And that for me was just like, it sealed the deal. I walked out there, the sun was shiny. It was just the most beautiful day, and it's got this beautiful backyard. Anyway, let's start from the top. The 2 platforms that I use to look for my place are Westside Rentals and apartments.com. So basically Westside Rentals I think is now tied to apartments.com, and a lot of the people that were posting on Westside Rentals basically led me to apartments.com. And what's great about apartments.com is that you can actually set parameters on the areas that you want to look at. There's so many features within apartments.com that lets you filter out areas and things that you're looking for. For me, I cannot stress enough how important it is now that I've lived here in Los Angeles for 12 years, the things that I cannot live without anymore. At my old studio, I did not have parking, like designated parking. It was street permit parking, but for those of you who live in Los Angeles, you know, permit parking is a biznatch. Every Monday and Tuesday morning between 8 to 10 a.m., there's street sweeping, and you better move your car or get ready to pay $68 for a ticket. I don't even know how much it is anymore because I actually learned in the 7 years that I lived there, I learned to compromise with street sweeping, as in with my life. Started scheduling my life around street sweeping. Sunday and Monday evenings, because street sweeping is on Mondays and Tuesday mornings. If I can't walk there to wherever it is, you're not picking me up, and or I can't Uber there, which with the current thing, I don't feel as comfortable doing shared rides. But if none of those three happen, I am not going to go. I just can't. The idea of having to wake up at the butt crack of dawn and move my car, and you will never find parking. Like maybe once out of a year, out of 365 days, that one time you'll find parking, but odds are you won't, and you'll be driving around for an hour or two looking for parking, and it's just such a hassle unless you are leaving to go to work or something. If you're working from home, which is kind of what is happening right now, it's just such a pain in the ass, just outright, it's a pain in the ass. So my new place has garage parking, which is very, very important for me. That was number one, parking. Number two for me is air conditioning. LA is beautiful weather, don't get me wrong. We're basically in the 70 degrees, sunshine, 90% of the time. However, there's like 2 to 3 weeks in the summer that it gets above 90, sometimes in the hundreds if you live in the valley. And it is horrific. It is just miserable. And if you don't have like even a window unit or some kind of air conditioning, it's just miserable. And you basically want to sleep in your car if you have a car and you have air conditioning in your car. So that was the other thing, and my place does have air conditioning. The third thing that was actually very important to me, even though it's not as high up on the list, but it was like a bonus, is to have a washer and dryer in unit. I know, it's mind-boggling for anyone who has not lived in Los Angeles in an older unit, but most places don't come with washer and dryer hookups and or units in your apartment. It's either located in like the basement or somewhere in your apartment complex, but it's not within your unit. And for me, I have a dog. Sometimes you spill things, sometimes she pukes, sometimes she has accidents, not pee-pee accidents, but like she pukes. She gets sick somehow, and then she just throws up whatever she ate off the ground. Anyway, that happens, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and you need to wash your bedspread, but you don't have a washer and dryer in unit, so you either have to go to your basement, and or there are buildings that don't even come with washer and dryer, so then you have to go off-site to a laundromat. So those three things definitely came with my apartment. Obviously, I'm paying the price. However, my place is rent control. And that's another great thing about Los Angeles, is that a lot of these older buildings have rent control so that your landlord doesn't just jack up the price the next time your lease ends, and then you're kind of stuck either paying that new price and or having to move. So thank goodness I chose a building that has rent control on top of that. The three main things that I really looked out for was number one, parking, number two, air conditioning, number three, washer and dryer unit, and the fact that my building is under rent control. Oh, and the fact that it's also pet friendly. But if you have an emotional support pet, don't even have to tell them about it if it's a service animal. However, I don't like doing that stuff. I like to just disclose everything up front. So I have my dog, and this building is pet friendly, so that's good. Right now is also a really great time for you to move if you did want to, is because a lot of people have left Los Angeles in the past year. I know there are places that are renting places out without even a deposit. So the rent is low, as well as the fact that you don't even have to put down a deposit, or you can negotiate with the building management or your landlord. I went on apartments.com and I put in basically the minimum that I wanted to pay. So I want to say, depending on if you're moving in with a significant other or roommate, I am paying this all on my own. I don't have a roommate, I don't have a significant other. So I knew that what my budget was going to be a little bit higher, because I live in a studio, so I knew what my studio was going for. And then if I was moving into a one bedroom, I kind of budgeted exactly how much more I was wanting to pay. And whatever price is listed on apartments.com or Westside Rentals or whatever listing it's on, you can negotiate. It is negotiable. I viewed at least 20 plus units. Right now, there's virtual tours. There's tours where you just go on your own, where the management group would just, you email them or text them, and then they'll send you the code to the lockbox and you can view it yourself. And that's basically what I did. Where I live is very central, and I like it because I'm close to freeways. I'm also close to shopping areas. I'm in the middle between downtown Los Angeles as well as Santa Monica and Venice. So it's like 20-25 minutes for me to go to the beach, and it's 20-25 minutes for me to go downtown. When I first moved out here from Dallas, I did come out here, I think, exactly a month before, because if you are looking for a place, they're mostly likely wanting you to be able to sign a lease immediately. They're not going to hold a place for you. It wouldn't make sense for you to come out here and look for a place 3 months before you move out here, unless you were just looking for a neighborhood. There's like Silver Lake, there is Echo Park, there is Santa Monica, there is Venice, there is Hollywood. Each area has their own little personality and quirk and what makes that place like shine, and it depends on your own personality and what you're looking for. I at the time were looking for a place with roommates, which is very different. If you're looking for a place with roommates because you don't know anybody else out here, you wanted to kind of just ease in and adjust, I recommend Craigslist. I mean, then again, when I looked on Craigslist for roommates, it was like 12 years ago. But then later on, when I moved into another place and was looking for roommates to move into my place, I also utilized Craigslist. Obviously, let people know, let your friends know, your family know, each location that you're going to, check it out. What I did was like, I set like a safe word. So when I get in there, right before I go in, I text my sister and would be like, this is the address I'm currently at. I see the place. That's what I did before I went in. And then she would call me within 5 minutes after that text. And then if I said my safe word, that means I'm okay, that I'm not, like there's not scary people or sketchy people or person. And that's what I recommend, especially for women out there. You never know, so it's best to play it safe than sorry. Anyway, but that's how I found my first housing when I first moved out here to Los Angeles. Yeah, it was nice because I didn't know anyone out here, so it felt good to, get to know my roommates, and then also I didn't have to pay as much for rent. There's also lots and lots of high rises and big apartment complexes being built right now, and those will obviously have better amenities that you will be able to use in the future, but not currently. They're all running all sorts of specials right now, like first month free, no deposit, all that good stuff. Before you start looking for a place to live, I would write down the things that you cannot live without. Some people, you think in your mind, oh, I'm okay with moving my car every 2 days out of a week for street cleaning. That doesn't really bother me. You're okay with the heat if you're coming from an even hotter area, or you don't mind going to a laundromat to do your laundry. Whatever you feel like you definitely need, that is like a must, keep it. Like, don't bend on it just because a place might just look pretty or something, because trust me, it will all affect your lifestyle later. I would also limit down to areas that you're interested in, whether it is because you like the restaurants that are around there, whether it is because your work is nearby, you have friends and family that live around that area. Whatever it is, limit your sections, because that will definitely help you with looking for a place to live. The two platforms that I used for my move now, which is apartments.com and Westside Rentals. The other thing about apartments.com that I really liked is that they actually have a feature on there where you can directly apply for that unit right then and there. $20 for your first application, but then you have like another 20 to 30 days to utilize that same application to apply for other places, which is, if you were already looking within that month and then you were already looking in all those places, it really does save you cost. I definitely paid $35 for 2 different applications. I paid the $20 for apartments.com. So altogether, I paid almost close to $100 in application fees. So that's that. Good luck to those of you who are making the trek to Los Angeles to move here. And for those of you that are already here in Los Angeles and just looking to move to another place, I highly recommend going those two online routes. Okay. Part 2 of this would be the actual tour of my place, which is not fully done yet. I will do one of those MTV Cribs episodes. That'll be part 2 to this YouTube apartment search. So stay tuned, everyone.